Pokemon Legends Arceus, an invigorating game, a reimagining of the promise of Pokemon, not afraid to reach out to its peers for inspiration. Game Freak finally broke free from that 8-badge formula, and in doing so, gave us all back a little sense of wonder. Over my 45 hours in growing with Arceus, it has probably become my favorite game in the franchise, surprisingly. Now there are plenty of reasons for this, but today, in this video, I wanted to highlight just one of them, the main reason: sound. Responsive sound design in Pokemon Legends Arceus is present throughout the entire game. Every step taken, every ball thrown, every rock broken, and every tree shaken is defined by its audio and visual haptic response, things that set off our brain's little pleasure receptors, things that I like to refer as the beeps and the boops. Because let's face it, most in-between tasks in video games, your gathering, your crafting, all of your means to an end stuff, it tends to wear thin after a while, especially if they're the primary factor in the game's main loop, things you're forced to interact with on a regular basis. Now traditionally, the Pokemon series has had a very simple gameplay loop. You explore, catch better Pokemon, and then you use them in battle. But what Arceus does better than just about every Pokemon game before it is that it makes the transition between each one of these activities seamless, and that there is hardly any downtime between them. There is nothing left to chance, and there is always something to interact with. This is, of course, because Arceus added two things to the formula that were never included before: the gathering and the crafting. And so that simple gameplay loop that Pokemon is known for, well, now it looks like this. And keeping that kind of loop engaging for dozens and dozens of hours is hard. But Arceus accomplishes this by providing a constant sense of progression to the player via new environments, new ways of traversal, new Pokemon to collect, and new things to gather and craft. You're never left alone for a second with nothing to see or do. There are always trees or rocks to collect in between Pokemon spawns, and there's always Pokemon spawns in between trees or rocks to collect. And the game never makes any of these things cumbersome to do either. Entering and exiting battle is a breeze, gathering is as simple as rifling your Bidoof at it, and catching Pokemon could be as simple as whipping an Ultra Ball at its head. You're never in one place longer than you have to be, because the game makes sure to give you the tools to keep moving. And now you might be asking yourself, Bill, what the hell does any of this have to do with sound design? That's just good open world game design, straight up. But because you're interacting with these things so much throughout the game, there is that one thing you need to get right, more than anything. Those beeps and the boops. See, we got there. The gameplay loop in Arceus was so addicting and so endlessly intoxicating for me, because every time that I moved through a zone doing these things, catching, battling, gathering, crafting, I was greeted with a dopamine-inducing symphony of sounds. That warm jingle of a resource being gathered, the bounce and firework pop of a successful Pokemon catch, that haunting sound of the Celestica flute when calling your mount, the crisp chime of a level up. Even the sounds of failure have good beeps and boops, that blunt thunk of an unsuccessful Pokeball toss, or the sound of falling viciously to your death. The fact of the matter is, I was never short on crafting materials in this game because I never ignored a gathering node. Every time you do something, even the simplest of tasks, you're rewarded for it with those gratifying sounds of progress. And it isn't enough to just use any old sound, by the way. The quality of these beeps and boops are important, because imagine if they sounded like this. Babidit! Pop, pop, pop! Ba-down! You'd be a lot less inclined to want to engage in these activities now, wouldn't you? Now, obviously, it isn't always fitting to include sound design like this in every game. It would be weird to pick something up in The Last of Us Part 2 and hear it. It's up to the developer to ensure the right type of audio-visual feedback is provided, and in the case of Pokemon Legends Arceus, that audio-visual feedback comes in the form of beeps and boops.